Hi, I recently read My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which, by the way, is getting a second season in 2026 for those interested, and honestly, despite my first impressions, I found it to be a pretty good spin-off that ended up resonating with me even more than the original series. Well, at least more than its latest seasons, but that's a topic for another video if you're interested. What I want to talk about is one of the messages that, in my opinion, the story tries to convey. To me, a good piece of work should inspire and motivate action. It should make you think, is there something from this that I can apply to my own life? From a psychological perspective, we consume stories because we can identify with them. We face the same challenge and traits as the protagonist does. And these kind of stories are usually about, yes, you can guess it, self-improvement. They follow the structure of the hero's journey. That is to say, from an apathetic person living an ordinary life to someone who finally decides to truly live. The protagonist sets out on a journey supported by key allies. This is where Knuckle Duster and Bob Steps come in, and eventually, literally in this case, becomes a hero after going through hell. So, what's the main message I take from this story? Well, honestly, because I'm a bit otaku and I like this story, there are several. But to keep this short, I'll stick with just the central one. Or not the central one, but the one that I want to convey in this video. And this is, you don't need superpowers to help others. Just the will to do it and the courage to act when the moment calls for it. And actually, this is a thing that Knuckle Duster says, like, literally to Koichi in the first episode. Yeah. Topic that we were speaking to, that's something I think that message is something that My Hero Academia as a whole struggles with a bit. Sure, it has fucking epic villains and incredible battles, but as a viewers, I will say we can't really identify with the characters. Maybe at first, but later on, not so much. Like, the first Deku is certainly one that I identified a lot with, but after that, when these fucking nuke superpowers came, like, yeah, not that much. My Hero Academia Vigilantes, on the other hand, takes the same concepts and grounds it on a smaller, more relatable scale, especially at the beginning. Koichi Himawari, a college student with a heroic heart and a strong moral compass, doesn't have a destructive superpower. He doesn't dream of being the number one hero, nor does he have the luck of inheriting power from the number one hero. He's just an ordinary guy, with no friends, a regular job, who simply wants to do good and enjoys doing it. He's not a hero by title, but he is one just by his actions. And that is the message I want to highlight. Now I'm going to talk a bit about me, so you can skip this part, but I think that is good to maybe you can relate to me. Like, if you're like me, My Hero Academia probably inspired you too. Honestly, I started taking sports seriously in 2017, I think, which eventually led to 5 years on the road of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because of Izuku Midoriya, Deku, a timid boy without powers who managed to change through effort and determination, and that resonated a fucking lot with me. Like, it was literally like Deku, and then like I found something to hold on to and to move in my life. However, Vigilantes inspired me in a different way. You don't need crazy superpowers, because, well, obviously they don't exist in this world. Maybe if you do, what is the name of this? Lucid Dream, you can go for it. At least we don't have superpowers yet. Maybe with technology and AI and that kind of stuff, maybe we will, like something Iron Man shit. But okay, yeah, coming back to the topic, but that doesn't mean that you can't help your community. Being a hero in our society doesn't necessarily mean catching villains, and please don't do that. Please. But rather performing small actions that can brighten someone's day. Maybe helping pick up the trash, giving your seat to another person, being kind, or standing up for others when the situation is needed. These are all heroic acts that we can actually emulate, and these are heroic. And I really want to emphasize this. Nowadays, we're missing those everyday heroic acts. In today's world, acts of kindness often seem to exist mainly for TikTok purposes, or for people promoting, I don't know, trying to help with climate change awareness while not even taking out their own trash at home. That's funny. It's like, well, it's like the Jordan Peterson thing that, yes, about this person, that this kind of people that want to save the world, but they don't do their best. It's like, man, or don't help their family. You have to start from the bottom, you know. But okay, keeping up with the team. I mean, those type of helping can be valid too. And to be honest, for a lot of time, I didn't make my bed too. But those small, genuine acts of heroism matter just as much as the big ones. And who knows, maybe if you step aside yourself for a bit and choose to help others, realizing that there are humans over there who suffer as much as you, maybe your life might change too. It might even become more meaningful, more exciting, just like it did for the protagonist, Koichi Himawari. Like, compare how it started and how it ended. If you know what to do with your life, that is totally understandable. I'm like you. But certainly, something that can help is just to help others. Just try it out and tell me how it goes. Goodbye.